Lance, great to be here with you today. You have Waitak heading towards the Quokka at Ascot in Western Australia. Tell us about the horse.
Oh, look, he's, we're lucky to have got the horse. Look, he had a successful 2-year-old career, and we were approached to train the horse, and look how it came about. We're so lucky because, his previous trainer took such great care of the horse. He arrived ready-made in terrific condition, so we were very fortunate in that sense. Doesn't happen very often, I can tell you. But it was with a gentleman who I rode for as a jockey successfully. In fact, I won an Auckland Cup on a mare called Waitak. So there was that connection early on, and he had all his horses trained by my father. So he arrived at our stable, and he was, quite an outstanding looking individual. He's big, he's bold, a little bit toey, but that's him. He's just the perfect racehorse. He's big, powerful, and has ability. We kicked him off thinking, well, he was a Derby horse. Certainly all indications pointed towards him being that type of horse, and we gave him the Derby prep, and he was running well and staying 3-year-old races. Continued on, took him to Brisbane. He raced well in Brisbane, but not as well. We gave him a very big break. I think instead of the normal 6 weeks, I think we gave him 3 months in the paddock because he'd had a very busy 3-year-old career. Brought him back with the idea of getting him ready and possibly running him in some of the weight for age 2,000 metre events. First up, we lined him up over 1,300 metres. Everything went his way, and he dived through. He won. He was most impressive. Andrew and I then went back and we looked at the program. We decided it was just a bit of a throwaway line. One of us came up with, well, why not give him 5 weeks and have a throw at the stumps and run him in the railway. And that's what we did. And so it was a race that early on, in fact, we had to pay the late nomination, so it wasn't intended that we're going to go that way at that stage, but early on. But it was a bit of a throw at the stumps at the time. We didn't think that the sprinters in New Zealand were overly strong. There were 1 or 2 that were going well, but certainly wasn't a vintage year. So we ran him in the railway, and as we know, the performance was certainly of a horse that he should have been doing that all the way through his career, and it probably took the silly trainers a while to wake up to what we should be doing with him. But he sort of proved himself that the short courses were certainly his go.
Out wide, Dragon Leap, Mercurial's all over the place. So look at Waitak bursting through. Waitak's come from last for the Wizard of Woz, and Waitak wins the Sistema Railway.
We were honoured, first of all and foremost, to be asked by Ian Tain to choose Waitak to run in the race. We're certainly honoured with the opportunity, and but of course by doing it, by being notified so early, we were able to train him for that race. So hence why he's only had the 3 runs this season.
How has he settled in WA?
A girl called Erin Layton, who used to be a jockey, has travelled up with the horse, and she's fallen in love with him. And she said he's just an absolute gentleman, and she said he's jumping out of his skin, couldn't be any better. So that gives us a lot of confidence going forward. It was a big trip. He had to stop off in Sydney on the way, but he's arrived there in great order. So look, let's see if he's good enough.
Focusing now on Wexford, you've been hugely successful stable. What do you think is behind that success?
Look, there's a lot of history behind Wexford, but I think the success behind it is, okay, at the end of the day you need the good horses in the yard, but it's the staff and the people running it. It's very important. We have a policy in our stable that everybody is important. It doesn't matter if it's a person that's cleaning out the yards or whatever. His job is so important, and without him it doesn't work. And it's a matter of everybody knowing that as a part of the cog in the wheel, they are appreciated for what they do. We're not like some of the other stables where we're winning 100 and something races a year, but we bat pretty good for the numbers that we have. And I sort of look at those big stables, I take my hat off to them. The job they do for the number of the horses, they turn their horses out looking in magnificent order. We have sort of not even half the number, but we know how big a job it is to do that and to keep up that standard. We were lucky. I inherited the position from, first my brother Paul from my father, then I inherited a successful operation way back then. It's been a difficult job at times to maintain it and for the business not actually to lose money. I know that sounds strange, I think how can it lose money, but some years it actually does by trying to keep a high standard. Feed them well, look after them, don't cut corners. I think that's a big part of the success.
What are you most proud of in that stable?
I think I'm most proud of when you go in there in the morning and you see all the horses with their head over the box door. You can walk up and down the aisle, you can pat them, and you know that they've been looked after. And if a horse has been mistreated in any way, the first thing it's going to do is throw its head back. As you know, you're a horse person yourself, and you get there. If you get a winner on the Saturday, on the Wednesday, it doesn't matter. All the staff is saying to each other, "Well done, well done." It doesn't matter if it's a lowly rated event, but all the staff are there. The success, it's not for Andrew or myself, it's for the whole lot, and it's a team. And I think that's probably what I'm the most proud of.
Before we let you go, the Quokka is a sprint race. Waitak a Group 1 winning sprinter. For Lance O'Sullivan, best sprinter you've ridden?
Oh look, without doubt it's not hard. Mr. Tiz, Mr. Tiz, he won 7 Group 1s, he won the Galaxy. I think he had, I've never ridden a horse in my life that had such ability to carry weight. And we talk about weight, he won 3 railway handicaps, he won 2 telegraphs, should have won 3, won the Lion Brown sprint, or what's it called now, the Group 1 1400 at Tirapa, and also the Galaxy. But I think what people have to realise, you look back on the great sprinters that New Zealand has produced. We have Imperatrice now, and she's Australian bred, but yes, so was he when I look back. But he carried 3 kilos more than the number 2 horse in the Galaxy. When he won his 3rd railway, he carried 11.5 kilos more than the 2nd horse. Now horses just don't do that nowadays. Special horse to me, special horse to Wexford, and without a doubt, the greatest sprinter I ever sat on.
Lance, thank you so much for your time today. Good luck in the Quokka with Waitak.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. We'll all be cheering for Waitak, and thank you for this. It's been an absolute pleasure.